Alright, let's find out why times means of. Both when we multiply whole numbers together and when we multiply fractions. Here I've got 3 times 4, which means I have 3 of those, the 4s. 1, 2, 3 4s. If I add all those together, I'll get 4, 8, 12, a total of 12. So 3 times 4 is 12. I have 3 of them, 3 4s. Here I'm going to try to illustrate that. Let's call those golf balls in a basket. There's 4 more golf balls in another basket, and 4 more golf balls in a third basket. So I've got 3 baskets with 4 golf balls in each basket. 3 times 4. I have 3 of those baskets. 1, 2, 3 baskets. 3 of them. So if I count all of those golf balls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've got 12 golf balls in those 3 baskets. 3 times 4 is 12. Hope that makes sense. That's going to help when we talk about fractions, I hope. Now notice that the answer, your product of the 3 and the 4, is much bigger than either of the 2 numbers. That should be obvious because you have 3 of them. 3 4s is 12, or 4 3s would be 12. But keep that in mind when we start talking about fractions. The answer is bigger than the 2 numbers being multiplied. Now let me show you a fraction. 1/2 times 1/2. If you use the word of, it means that we have 1/2 of 1/2. If you think about that, your answer is going to be smaller than either one of those 2 halves. So when you multiply 2 fractions together that are less than a whole, the product becomes smaller than either of the 2 numbers. It's one thing you can always check. So 1/2 of 1/2, or 1/2 times 1/2, is only 1/4. The way you solve that is just to multiply the numerators, the top numbers of each fraction, times each other, and make the numerator of your product, and then the denominators that get multiplied times each other as well. So 1/2 times 1/2, or 1/2 of 1/2, is 1/4. Same thing with 1/2 of 1/3. Here I've taken a circle and I've broken it into 3 equal parts, each piece being 1/3 of the whole, let's call it a pie. So if I take one of those 1/3 and cut it in half, and another one of the 1/3 and cut it in half, and do the same to the final one, you'll notice there are 6 pieces of the pie. The question was 1/2 of 1/3 equals 1/6. Again, you multiply the numerators and multiply the denominators. So 1/2 of 1/3 is 1/6. Here I go into explaining how to multiply the fractions. I've said it a few times already. You can take the numerators, which is the top number of each fraction, multiply them together, and the denominators straight across, multiply them together. It'll give you your answer. You can remember the picture of that pie that I just drew a minute ago. 2/3 is bigger than half. So 2/3 of 2/3 is only 4/9, which is less than half. Again, your answer is smaller. Numerator, there's the spelling, N-U-M-E-R-A-T-O-R times numerator over the denominator times the denominator. Multiplying fractions is the easiest operation of all fraction operations. You've got to be able to multiply fractions to be able to add them or subtract them. I'll explain why in a future video. We've got 1/4 times 1/3, or 1/4 of 1/3. And again, I'll diagram that for you. Break it into thirds. Cut one of those thirds into 4 pieces. And now just count. That would be 12 pieces altogether. 1/4 of 1/3 is 1/12. A very small piece of that pie. I hope this helps. Just another example. 2/5 or 40% of 1/2. Numerator times numerator. Denominator times denominator. Reduce the fraction. That's another thing we'll work on in a future video. Well done. Ugh.